r/AskReddit. What is the most severe case of someone being completely out of touch with reality you've ever seen?
Just being a pussycat is a constant hazard.
Parents of a 35-year-old woman, who was hospitalized after suffering severe anoxic brain damage 20 years ago. She had been in the same ward since, barely conscious. They refused to get her transferred to a more suitable facility for 20 years, saying that there's no reason to do so, those facilities are for lost causes, and their daughter is going to make a full recovery, finish school, get married and be totally fine. Working in hospitals got me quite a collection of these stories, but this one I thought was one of the saddest ones. My old boss at the time was a girl of 26 who got $4 million from her mom a year to play with. Her mom is very wealthy in China. Her daughter is here trying to be a CEO of a company for funsies. I accidentally got a job at that company. One day she told us we were all going on a group outing for bonding. She took us to an outlet mall 4 hours away. Told the rest of us 7 people that she was going to go shop and she'd see us later. That was code for don't follow me. Every 2 hours she'd let us know she was going to go unload her bags to the giant van they rented and would group text us telling us we can meet her there to unload as well. We all get paid under $50K. We have nothing to unload. By lunch she had proceeded to fill up the van with shit. She then asks me where all my new stuff is and I said I'm budgeting right now. She goes take out a credit card and go shop. That's the American way. Seriously. Okay. By 9 p.m. her bags were taking up people's seats and they had to sit with her stuff. She spent $30K. The rest of us spent about $70. We were tired and bored and cold. To this day I still believe she thinks she did something nice for us, and doesn't understand how polarizing and not at all team bonding that was. I'm sure there was a lot of team bonding involved. Just not with her. This was from a regional manager of Starbucks, after they removed merit-based raises that could go up to a 5% increase, changed to a flat 2% increase. When she asked if people liked the new raise plan, I said actually no, they feel unmotivated with no reason to perform any better than just normal. Regional manager, your staff need to realize working isn't about money. If working isn't about money, why would the company decrease raises from 5% to 2%? To make more money, that's right. More for me, but not for thee. I went to a private international school in London as a teenager. Most kids there had parents working good jobs, but in between them were some filthy rich kids with parents in the oil industry or something similar. In 8th grade we were talking about our Easter break and my friend from Belgium was talking about how his family had decided last minute to go there over the break, but had decided to drive there because there were no flights available. Then this Russian billionaire classmate of mine asked him, why don't you take a private jet? She was so clueless when we started laughing. International schools are prime hunting grounds for out-of-touch people. A friend of my mom's was a school counselor at an international school in Indonesia. They were organizing a school trip for the year 9, 13-year-olds, top dollar school, so top dollar trip at a fancy hotel. One of the parents come in and ask her about the toilet situation. She replies saying each room has an ensuite so the kids will be fine. The mother then replies, but who will wipe his bottom? Turns out this kid had a maid who slept at the end of his bed at night and would wipe his privileged arse for him. Edit. Thanks for the award, kind stranger. My most popular comment on Reddit is,
oh dear, delays, nothing but delay.
My mother, and to several people in my family, believe that God marks people. If someone ultimately has a good soul, they're white, and I'm sure you can guess where it goes from there. If only non-white did shitty things, that would make sense, but you don't even have to look at much of the world to see that is not the case. When I try to bring up that tons of white people do awful things, her logic is they're lost souls that will eventually find their way. Meanwhile, she'll believe a non-white will never find their way even if they act like they have. The level of delusion this takes is one of the most frightening things to me. My girlfriend was traveling in China when she was 18 years old and was once randomly approached by a man claiming to be a scientist performing a medical study on feet. He would need to measure the exact dimensions of her feet. For this she obviously had to take off her shoes and socks, and he would also need to take some pictures of her feet as well. Years later she tells this story to me and some friends in a bar. At first we start laughing, but then realize she isn't joking and still doesn't realize what had happened there. We actually had to spell it out for her. I'm sure she made some Chinese foot fetish day. I have an aunt who's never really worked a day in her life because her husband created his own business early on in life. They live in a McMansion and I was over once and we got to talking about fitness, and she told me, oh yeah, we send Pamela to this special training gym, it's only $200 a week, you should try it. The fact that to her it was only $200 really kills me. I made $9.95 an hour at the time. She's nice enough but not in touch with reality at all.
My stars, if an interesting monster can't have an interesting hairdo, then I don't know what things are coming to.
My stepfather's grandpa suffered from psychosis in a strange way. He wasn't able to distinguish mirror reflections from real life. He would often be found talking to the mirrors, his reflection, for hours. Later on, he wasn't allowed to have any mirrors because he would believe that that man was there to kill him and often would turn violent. Turn violent as in he would start punching and clawing against the mirrors. One bully of a boss asking the 3 people who suffered most from his behavior if they would want to move to a new employer with him as a team. How about no way in hell? This happened at my work too. Apparently had no idea that the people he overworked would not jump at the chance to quit their current job at an established company to work with him at a startup that he had not even created yet. My cousin's wife got very sick while we were at a wedding in Mexico because she drank no water, only alcohol. She said, there were ice chips in my drinks, so I thought it was enough. Anyways, she complained because at the hospital some of the staff didn't speak English. You're in a Spanish-speaking country. My sister grew up with everything handed to her, and literally cried when her first car wasn't the color she wanted. Married rich. Can't fathom why I can't take off work whenever it suits me, and says stuff like I wouldn't ask my boss for a week off, I would tell him I am taking the week off. Oh my god, how come I never thought of that?